This is, in fact, a steal for the Memphis Grizzlies. As we all know, Olivier Maxence Prosper was signed to a two-way contract very recently, but now we got one rider who's very confident in his game and who could actually become maybe a full-time member of the Grizzlies as early as this season. He was a full-time member of the Dallas Mavericks for the past 2 seasons, for his first 2 seasons in the NBA. Now with the Grizzlies, he actually has a shot to finally grow, and maybe it's something the Grizzlies really need in return. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but what's going on, everybody? Jared Alatorre here for another episode of Grizzlies Digest. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode, and just want to remind you, 39% of you, you're awesome, you're amazing, thank you so much. We know exactly who you are. 62% of you have to subscribe to the channel. We're getting ever so closer to the NBA season, but getting into the video right now. Don't sleep on Olivier Maxence Prosper emerging as a difference maker for Memphis. Paris Sharkey, the site expert for the Beale Street Bears, adds the Grizzlies' new young forward is ready to prove that he belongs in the NBA. So ESPN's Kevin Pelton recently mentioned that Memphis Grizzlies, and the biggest hole in their roster was wing size. And of course, we all think about Jalen Wells. Is he ready to take that big leap? What is KCP going to do? There's some insider reporters saying Ty Jerome, after having the best season of his life, that he's somehow going to collapse and fail, which I think is baloney. But this is what it says. That assumption came after an offseason spent adding lengthy wing players to the roster. First, the Grizzlies drafted 6'6" Cedric Coward with the 11th overall pick of the 2025 NBA draft. And the details of that, I mean, just moving 4 spots up and then trading away a couple of draft picks. I mean, to me, we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if that was worth it. But they just moved 4 spots. I bet Cedric would have been there even if Memphis stayed on the board as was, if that makes sense. The 2025 NBA draft, and as we know, the Grizzlies selected Cedric Coward. And later added former 2023 first-round pick Olivier Maxence Prosper, known as OMAX, to the final two-way contract slot. It was reported by ESPN's Shams that the Grizzlies tried trading for the 6'7" forward during the offseason before he was waived by the Mavericks in late August. So that's kind of an interesting development there. How the Grizzlies tried trading for him, but the Mavericks, they let him go just because the Mavericks themselves, they have so much good wing depth and good forward depth, and they got a huge issue with their big man like Davis. They got Gafford, they got Derek Lively, got Dwight Powell. They got so many big guys. PJ Washington, who's probably going to play more of a 3, even though he played a 4 a lot in Dallas. That's going to be kind of an issue there. But basically, for Omax, his signing added depth at a position filled with youth, alongside Cedric Coward, Gigi Jackson, and Jalen Wells. While signing as a two-way prospect, it will limit his time with the Grizzlies' main roster, and Omax certainly brings intrigue to a roster that needs more players of his caliber. So, talking about Omax, and we know he's a young guy. We know he's got a lot to learn, but he's got a lot of raw talent. I think just his body alone, his length alone, the way he can play defense and move quickly on defense, I think you can work with him. And you always hear GMs saying, well, he's not the right fit. Or, oh yeah, this guy, he actually is the right fit. I mean, that's true. That's very much true with anybody. You want the right fit on your basketball team. I mean, when you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, you think of, okay, they literally got the perfect talent. And it looks like the best talent. But they first started with each other with this, obviously with SGA at the helm, the veteran having been there now for 7 seasons with OKC. And now you add in Jalen Williams, you add in Holmgren, add in a couple of veterans. And they look like they can't be stopped right now. But you depend on a young team to hopefully blend in for the near future. And the catalyst to that is, of course, Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. And then you add in a veteran like KCP, add a guy like Ty Jerome, then you add in these young guys like what we're talking about: Coward, J.J. Jackson, Jalen Wells, Zach Edey, of course, with Jalen Wells on the first rookie team for this season. So you got plenty of young talent and plenty of talent who's been here for quite a while. And that's kind of the perfect place you want to be. If you're the Memphis Grizzlies, you're at a pretty good place. Now it's time to develop that young talent and get them comfortable so that they can compete for the ultimate prize here. Okay, here we go. He got caught up in a numbers game with the Mavericks, who needed, he is in Omax, I was a little confused there, who needed guard depth to offset Kyrie Irving's availability for the season. Their depth at the wing and forward positions led them to parting ways with him, and the Grizzlies wasted no time bringing him into their organization. Omax is entering only his third year into the NBA, so look for the Grizzlies to develop him into a formidable NBA player. So I'm looking at Meshack, Small. You know, you like what they brought in Summer League, and you like what they bring to the table. But Omax, he wasn't. Yeah, he was drafted in the first round, in the early 20s. I mean, that's fairly respectable. And he wasn't on no two-way anything with Dallas for the majority of the time he was there. Majority of the time, he was on that full-time Mavericks roster. So you have that experience of being on an NBA team full-time. And now you're kind of pushing those two guys, Small and Meshack, out of the picture, which, and, you know, and obviously they're going to be just fine, whatever they do. But you're looking at Omax and you're like, well, he's already played NBA minutes. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. If you don't believe me, I mean, this is just one play to highlight his athleticism there. As you see him go up for the jam and the foul. I mean, you just see the athleticism there. I mean, it's present. It's young. It's talented. You can see the raw ability is there. But I think the Grizzlies could really work with him, especially with the young core, what they got. Their young forwards, their young threes, their young fours, like Wells, Jackson, now add Omax to the picture. I think you've got pretty much the same vision, at least. If you're a coach, you're like, hey, with these young guys, they have the same exact vision altogether. So it's like their growth, no one's beating out one. Now, Jalen Wells is obviously the best one out of those three. But other than that, it's just experience at that point. It's just life experience. And you got guys that you can work with. I mean, they're young guys that you can definitely work with who will grow together. That is if the Grizzlies decide to keep Omax for the future. But that's pretty much going to do it for this video, as just showing you our subscribers again. Once again, 39% of you are subscribed to the channel. 62% have to get subscribed to the channel. Comment below what you think what Omax can do in a Grizzlies uniform. Again, he's played NBA minutes before with the Mavericks. It just didn't work out because they had a lot of wing depth, had too much wing depth, and too much forward depth to the point where Omax just didn't have a spot on the roster. I'd say it was kind of unfair for him, but I think he deserves a real shot, and the Grizzlies are going to give him a real shot. So comment your thoughts below. Jared Alatorre saying so long. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one.